welcome back to Laser Pan Games. Today we're going to be taking a look at a crossbow hunter in Realm Royale. And also we're in 2020 now, and the season is almost over. We'll see in the future if there's any updates, but this is the best build I have right now. And let's go ahead and get into our loadout here. Now, for ability, I'm going to be using explosive tips. It's going to add 300 damage to blast arrow, which is going to let us do a ton of extra damage, especially when you're trying to reload or something. You don't have to switch weapons, and you can use your arrow to finish off a chicken or basically knock somebody out from behind cover, because it has knockback on it, which is really nice. For our weapon, we're going to be using pincushion. So obviously we're going to try and have a crossbow every time. Basically it's going to add another 5% damage beyond the hunter's arsenal. So you do have the option here, if you'd like to have a secondary recurve bow, you can stay with the hunter's arsenal and then have a primary secondary. But if you're going to go full in on the crossbow like I do, obviously this is going to give us 5% more damage, plus anybody else attacking the same target as you is going to do more damage as well. So that player you're attacking is going to die super fast if there's multiple people attacking them. For movement, we're just going to take hunter speed. There's a lot of nice extra abilities. Unfortunately, the cooldown is just too long for them to be effective. We're going to be also using dodge roll here, and there's 2 extra abilities, but just having the reduced cooldown lets you just loot a lot faster and get away in fights if you need to. Whereas if you go with one of your other abilities, you might not, like even the exaction here with the extra damage. You're gonna have a long time before you can do another dodge roll, and that's just the way I like to do it. I like to be able to just, especially if you get the rune up, and you can just basically use it as kind of a way to move around your opponents. For healing, we're going to take Vigor, which is going to give us obviously better for endgame, which is going to increase our max health so that when we get in a big fight, chances are we can outlast our opponent before we get chickened. We're going to put on Box here to gain 25 shards for eliminating a chicken. I guess it's just called the shards ability. Depending on your playstyle, also this is for, if you're pretty aggressive, like I get pretty aggressive in games, and trying to kill players and bots to get shards quicker at the start of the game to get your gear is a really good strategy. But if you're the type of player that likes to go far away in the map and just loot and not have to deal with players right away, you might want to try out Pennywise, especially in a solos game. But it will slow you down compared to actually getting in fights. But again, I'll say there comes risk with if you get in a fight, you might die. So Pennywise is just basically for people who are more passive and like to engage later game instead. For our ability Forge, we're going to guarantee the blast arrow, because we have obviously the extra 300 damage that goes with it. So this is going to be just a very improved blast arrow, which is going to, do a lot of damage and be able to knock our opponents back out from behind cover. For our weapon forge here, we're going to also guarantee that we get the crossbow. That's pretty self-explanatory, that one. For the movement, we're going to go with the guaranteed dodge roll, so that we can keep our cooldown, because we have the better cooldown for it, obviously, and then it'll get even less, and then with the rune, so a lot of times you can get it down to where you can just basically dodge roll a lot. You can roll, and it's only a few more seconds before you can roll again, which is nice if you're trying to get away in a bad situation. For the chicken, I always like to have incubation. Again, it's going to let you revive from being a chicken faster, because usually I like to carry with me either a shield or a heal. Now, depending, also the shield is harder to find, so most of the games you're going to end up with some sort of healing item anyway, so when you revive quicker you can just heal yourself or drink a few potions, and it's going to give you an advantage. Some people like to go with the returning health after you revive as a chicken, like full health, but if you get killed as a chicken, this ability is useless anyway. So you have to get away. It's basically an extra 5 seconds you have to be a chicken, right? Which I don't like to deal with. And then for speed here, we're going to go with leg day. Obviously, just moving faster helps us hunt down chickens. And we're not going to worry about any of the other ones. Like reflexes and combat training are more for snipers and longbows entering ADS. We still will enter ADS sometimes, but we're going to be able to hip fire mostly with this build and not have to worry about entering ATS unless we're trying to basically almost kind of snipe with the crossbow. But that's pretty much the full build. You can see where you get the unlocks here. It's not too high level. You're going to be able to get most of it right here, which is about halfway through. Halfway through the skills, you'll be able to get basically everything locked for crossbow. So it's a nice early build too. If you want to switch to a longbow or something later, it's nice to be able to have a build to level up with. But I like to use it endgame anyway. It's my favorite hunter build. So let me know what you guys use for your hunter builds in the comments, and thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Hello everyone who made it to the end of the video. This is LaserPan Games, reminding you to smash that like button, leave a comment below, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It really helps out. And if you're looking for even more content, check out my Patreon here, where I post exclusive video content every month, and you'll have access to all of that.